Hey guys, this is Pratik Oswal, founder and CEO of Glide Invest, and we are here to make investing stress free, one financial goal at a time. Hello everyone. So today's topic is about the risk on relying on mutual fund ratings. So mutual fund ratings are extremely important for investors today. They determine a lot about which funds to buy, which funds to sell, and but what we've seen with data is that mutual funds ratings end up being a lot less effective to investors than we all believe. So let's deep through about what mutual fund ratings are, how are they calculated, and how should investors see them in their investing process. So let's start by what are mutual fund ratings. Mutual fund ratings are ratings that are produced by different rating agencies. They can be in a star format or they can be in a numerical format. So for example, a 5-star fund is better than a 4-star fund, or a fund that is rated a 8/10 can be better than a fund that is rated 3/10. So mutual fund ratings are great because they really help simplify investors who are looking at investing in mutual funds. Today a lot of investors are choosing between thousands and thousands of mutual funds out there, and mutual fund ratings really help in if a customer or an investor is trying to figure out which of the 2 or 3 funds to buy, he or she can simply look at the fund with the higher rating and buy it. So that's typically what mutual fund ratings are used for. So how are they calculated? Mutual funds ratings are calculated using quantitative as well as qualitative factors, and it requires some level of research for them to give them these ratings. Just to let you know that these ratings actually do change over time. So if some of the fundamental attributes of the fund does change, then the ratings obviously does change. So some of the qualitative factors include portfolio concentration, credit quality, and also other factors such as fund manager reputation, mutual fund reputation, track record, all of that. Some of the quantitative measures that rating agencies use is Sharpe ratios, alpha, liquidity, and volatility. So how are they calculated? So the data is then the data between the qualitative and the quantitative factors is then measured across different different systems, and depending on that, ratings can accordingly give out the appropriate number or the star. So why are ratings important? As I said before, simplification is extremely important. Ratings really makes it convenience for investors to save time and make decisions much easier. The other reason is also elimination. So someone who's looking at ratings can also weed out some of the bad apples in the market. And this can be funds which are poorly reliable, have long-term unreliable sort of ratings. So it really helps in the process of elimination when people are looking at funds. But are ratings predictive? What we've seen is that, especially in the US market, is that ratings have very little predictive power. What does that mean? So ratings have little to do with future performance. A 5-star rating does not really have an edge over a 4-star rated fund or over a 3-star rated fund. And this is from 15 to 20 years of mutual fund rating analysis from the US. What we've seen in India is that this is also very true. What we've seen is that ratings are basically products of hindsight bias. What is hindsight bias? Hindsight bias is a psychological phenomenon that allows people to believe that they accurately predicted an event after it happened. So what happens is, because of hindsight bias, is that the funds that have performed the best end up getting the best ratings, and the funds that end up performing the least end up getting the lowest ratings. So essentially, buying a 5-star fund is basically like buying a high performance fund. And we all know that the performance of high performance funds in the future is probably not going to be the same than what it has done in the past. So what else about ratings may not be great for investors? Number 2 is also incentivizes return chasing behavior. What happens in ratings is, what happens if an investor buys a 5-star fund, but then that fund ends up becoming a 4-star or 3-star fund, say 2 years from now. what a lot of investors do is they end up buying selling these funds and then buying other 5-star funds. What we've seen is that this is a very common mistake that what investors do. When you make a decision of buying a mutual fund, you should hold it for a very, very, very long time. And yes, we do understand that performance can go up and down, but the true value of investing is truly long term. The second is that ranking changes often happen after performance. So what this means is that a fund that is upgraded from 4-star to 5-star, are funds that have upgraded post good performance, and funds that are downgraded, happen post poor performance. So which is why I think rankings changes may not be an accurate figure about what will happen in the future. So in conclusion, mutual fund ratings may not be the best metric when it comes to figuring out which mutual funds to buy. Yes, I think one way of looking at ratings is to make sure that our portfolio does not have any 1-star or 2-star funds. What we've seen is that funds that have 1-star tend to stay 1-star for a very long time. So I think when it comes to ratings, I think investors should probably look at funds which should not look at funds that are 1 and 2-star, but investors should not really have an opinion if a fund is 3 or a 4 or a 5-star. So with this, thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and see you next time. You can listen to us out here or check out our website www.glideinvest.com. You can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter on @GlideInvest. If you want to reach out to me, then I'm at Pratik Oswal 88 on Twitter. Cheers and happy investing. See you guys next week.